Hey boys, let's start things off with a bang, shall we? I got this fella here, slow poke with a king's rock. So let's see what happens with this little guy. There we go. Hope he's a higher score than the scissor was. There's the king. 1834, that's better than. So there's our slow king. Let's see. Fire Blast 140, that's pretty good. So there's the king. Okay, so we're still doing Pokemon. I haven't forgot about your Pokemoning, boys. All right, let's jump into. We finally finished with Genesis 30. Now we're going to start into Genesis 31. And like I told you last time, we saw Jacob trying to be kind of sneaky against Laban and earn himself wealth that way. But we're going to get a little bit more clarity in this chapter on what really is going on. And then we're going to see maybe the consequences of Jacob's deception again. So let's read. Now Jacob heard what Laban's sons were saying. Jacob has taken all that was our father's and has built this wealth from what belonged to our father. And Jacob saw from Laban's face that his attitude toward Jacob was not the same. Then the Lord said to him, "Go back to the land of your fathers, to your family, and I will be with you." So Jacob was getting wealthier and wealthier, and that was making Laban, and especially Laban's sons, get angrier and angrier. So let's see what he has to say to his wives about this. Jacob had Rachel and Leah called to the field where his flocks were. He said to them, "I can see from your father's face that his attitude toward me is not the same. But the God of my father has been with me. You know that I've worked hard for your father, and that he has cheated me and changed my wages 10 times. But God has not let him harm me. If he said, 'The spotted sheep will be your wages,' then all the sheep were born spotted. If he said, 'The streaked sheep will be your wages,' then all the sheep were born streaked. God has taken away your father's herds and given them to me." So, let me read a little more. "When the flocks were breeding, I saw in a dream that the streaked, spotted, and speckled males were mating with the females. In that dream, the angel of God said to me, 'Jacob.' I said, 'Here I am.' And he said, 'Look up and see. All the males that are mating with the flocks are streaked, spotted, and speckled. For I have seen all that Laban has been doing to you. I am the God of Bethel, where you poured oil on the stone marker and made a solemn vow to me. Get up, leave this land, and return to your native land.'" So, remember yesterday, we were talking about, it was a little weird what Jacob was trying to do with the sticks and making certain sheep have certain kinds of babies by looking at sticks while they were mating. So now we see that Laban figured something weird was going on, so he kept changing Jacob's wages and saying, "Well, the spotted sheep are yours, or the streaked sheep are yours," that kind of thing. And so what we can see is what we said yesterday. It wasn't Jacob's cleverness that was increasing his wealth. It was God. In this dream, God showed him God was the one who was protecting Jacob and providing wealth for him and increasing his wealth, just like he promised that he would do for Abraham and for Isaac and now for Jacob. So let's see what Jacob's wives have to say about all this. Then Rachel and Leah answered him, Do we have any portion or inheritance in our father's household? Are we not regarded by him as outsiders? For he has sold us and has certainly spent our money. In fact, all the wealth that God has taken away from our father belongs to us and to our children. So do whatever God has said to you." They're ready to go, basically. Then Jacob got up and put his children and wives on camels. He took all the livestock and possessions he had acquired in Paddan Aram, and he drove his herds to go to the land of his father Isaac in Canaan. When Laban had gone to shear his sheep, Rachel stole her father's household idols. And Jacob deceived Laban the Aramean, not telling him he was fleeing. He fled with all his possessions, crossed the Euphrates, and headed for the hill country of Gilead. So we see Jacob here again, still not necessarily trusting what God told him. God told him, get up and go back home. So Jacob should have had a reasonable confidence that he was going to go home because God told him, go back home. So he could have said goodbye to Laban. He could have, let Laban say goodbye to his daughters and his grandchildren. He could have just more honestly told Laban, God has commanded me to go home, so I'm taking all my stuff and I'm going home. But instead, he tried to be tricky again and tried to slip out in the middle of the night when Laban was way over in one place with all his sheep. Jacob gathered all of his herds and stuff and tried to lead them in the opposite direction and lead them back to where he came from. So we will see tomorrow what Laban has to say about that when he finds out that Jacob is basically snuck away. So kind of the point we can get from this chapter, some of the things we should learn so far, one is that God is keeping his covenant to Jacob. He's keeping his covenant that he made with Abraham, and the covenant he confirmed with Isaac, and the covenant that he confirmed with Jacob. He told Jacob that he was going to make him into a great nation, just like he promised to Abraham. He was going to increase his wealth and things like that. So God is keeping up his end of the bargain. Unfortunately, Jacob is also kind of keeping up his character trait of deceitfulness. So even though God is using Jacob is still not necessarily become the kind of person that God wants him to be. He's still trying to be deceptive and sneak around and things like that. And it seems to even be affecting his wife, Rachel, as she stole the idols from Laban's house. And we'll talk about that a little bit more tomorrow when Laban catches back up with them. So look forward to doing that with you boys. I miss you guys. I look forward to seeing you, but I am praying every day that you will have really fun experiences in Fiji. I'm praying every day that you guys will be able to let go of some of the comfortable things that you're used to. You'll be able to let go of having your regular routines and things like that, and that you'll be able to be flexible, and that this will help you kind of learn some new things and gain some new experiences. And that's really how we grow, boys. We don't grow by doing the same things every day and having the same patterns and the same routines. We grow by doing new things and having adventures. Sometimes by making mistakes, sometimes by getting hurt. Those things are necessary. That's how we grow. So I'm excited for you there in Fiji. I really, really, really hope that you guys will choose to make the most of this trip. And I really hope, like we said, that you'll choose to serve Mommy and help her. So I know I can count on you boys. Okay? I love you. I will see you soon. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Bye.